I love it. And really, again, you connected to the why even more. It's not just about sharing your story and giving behind the scenes access, but to leave a legacy and to educate your children and their children's children, and then they can connect. Because if you look at our grandparents, we don't know. I mean, we hear a couple stories, but there wasn't video. There's not a lot of audio, if anything, and that's a lost treasure. We are in a world right now where we can actually leave a percentage or a replica of what our life was like. It's really cool. That's exciting. So get out there, get equipment, whether it's your cell phone or something else, it doesn't really matter. It's tell the story. And it sounds like that raw iPhone footage, Android footage, actually sounds like it's useful for creating even more intimate behind the scenes stuff because it's actually lower quality.
I wish I would have started with this because I want people to really understand you can do this today. This is not something that is hard. And the reason that I'm saying that is because storytelling has been confused a little bit over the years. It's become a buzzword, and I think people have complicated it and they've created structures and they've created, the hero's journey. All of that is important. But here's the thing for you to be able to do this tomorrow, and why I'm saying pull out your camera and record now, here's what a story is. A story is about a very specific moment in time. That's it, right? When you say Jude Charles is a filmmaker, it's not my story. But if I bring you into the moment that I was 17 years old, May 5th, 2006, and Mrs. Donnelly brought in the yellow envelope with the business cards in them, it's about a very specific moment in time that I brought you into. So when we talk about capturing video content, it's about capturing moments. Those moments tell stories because there's a beginning, middle, and end, right? And you talked about like our grandparents and the stories that they would tell us. Of course, there's stories that I've heard over the years, but when you can see it with your own eyes, hearing something said 1,000 times is not as convincing as seeing it once. I'll say that one more time. Hearing something said 1,000 times is not as convincing as seeing it once. We can hear the stories that our grandparents have told us. We can hear the stories that our parents are even telling us. If we can see what they really had to go through, if we can see what it meant to hypothetically be able to be there in the March on Washington when Dr. Martin Luther King gave his speech, if we can see that with our own eyes and feel the energy, there's certain things you can't replicate. And that's what video helps you do. It helps you to replicate the moment. The moment is the story. And that's what you need to focus on, is the moment. And if you focus on the moment, you capture that moment, there's just so much more that you can do with it, which goes into dramatic leverage, right? Like you talked about a little bit. I mentioned how Keisha used it over and over. There's ways to cut up the video to use it over and over. But it's just one piece of content, right? Creating the gold, creating the legacy, creating the stories that continue to help others.